Now check on how to work out a question involving the three notes, note 1, note 2, and note 3. Our question says you are required to calculate the following for the year ended 28 February 2017. Direct material cost note, direct labor cost note, factory overhead cost note. Let us check the information. We have information A, stock on 28 February. Our stock in this case is only for direct material. For 2016, 468,000. This will be our opening stock, and 324,900 for 2017. This will be our closing stock. We must always check the year, which one will be our opening, which one will be our closing. Also the order, they have started by 2017 followed by 2016. Nevertheless, 2016 amount will be our opening stock, 2017 amount will be our closing stock. We have also a bullet on information A. Note that the business does not have work in process stock as goods are produced to order. Information B, transactions for the year ended 28 February 2017. Different questions will present the transactions differently. In this case, the transactions were given in the form of a trial balance. So when we are preparing our notes, the trial balance amount, as always, we open brackets, we use the trial balance amount. Let's check, what do we have? We have purchases for direct materials, 2,690,600. Then we have consumable stores, which is a question mark. From the previous classes, we have noticed that consumable stores is also known as indirect material. So in this case, they've used the word consumable stores. Carriage on purchases for direct materials, 39,900. This is the transport cost to deliver stock to the business. Returns also of direct materials, we have returned stock to our supplier, stock to the value of 23,600. Then a salary of a foreman salary becomes part of our indirect labor, 325,000. Insurance, 56,000. So this insurance amount is the total for the business. You still remember we have three departments: factory, admin, and selling and distribution. Water and electricity is a question mark. Additional information will clarify. Advertising, 12,970. This advertising, you are going to notice that it is not part of the three notes that we are preparing. So it is the examiner's duty to make the question tricky by including some information which must be excluded. So we need to know which expenses for which department. That part was very important. Now, let's check information C. Unit cost, production, sales, and break-even point. This part is not going to affect us for this particular activity. We will skip to information D, additional information and adjustments. So we have noticed information B was our trial balance. Now we have adjustments to take into account as we calculate the figures for the year. Prime cost or direct cost for the year amounted to 4,020,000. Prime cost, from our understanding, it is direct labor plus direct material. Then second bullet, consumable stores used during the financial year amounted to 100,250. 80% of this expense must be allocated to the factory. Like we have said, these consumable stores must be divided among the departments. 80% of the total must be reflected as factory overhead. Third bullet, 20 casual workers were employed at 50 Rand per hour during peak periods over the year. 15 of these workers were placed in the factory providing cleaning and maintenance. Now we are told that they were providing cleaning and maintenance, which makes them to be indirect labor. For how many workers? For the 15 workers, they were providing indirect labor. but they were paid an hourly rate of 50 Rand per hour. That is important information that we need to take into account. The next bullet. Okay, we are still continuing. While the rest assisted in the sales and administration department. So out of 20, 15 were in the factory providing cleaning and maintenance. Out of 20 we are left. The 5 were now in the selling and distribution. In the sales, that is one department, and administration, which is another department. So these workers, 5 of them are not involved in the factory, they are for those departments. They each worked a total of 100 hours during the period. So we are told total number of hours, we are also told the hourly rate and the number of workers. The total, it is for the year. We don't have to calculate, but we are told the moment they say total, we know that they all worked up to 100 hours. Next bullet, 11,200 of the insurance premiums must be allocated to the sales, administration and departments. So out of the insurance, we know that 11,200 must go to sales and administration. This does not affect our factory overhead. So an amount of 11,200 we know it is not for the factory. The water and electricity expense for the sales and administrative departments amounted to 150. Again, on this one, the amount for administration, we are given the amount for administration. We are also given the amount for the sales. They are saying of these 2 departments, a total of 150 was paid, but this amount represents 2 out of 5 of the total water and electricity. What it means is the remaining, if 2/5 was for sales and admin, it simply means 3/5 will go now to the factory. We are going to remember in the trial balance it was a question mark. We need to take that into account. Now let us see how do we work out. We are going to start with the direct material cost. We know our formula from the information that we were given. The opening balance, the 468 was our opening stock. So our formula says opening stock plus purchases minus returns plus carriage minus closing stock. So our 468 from the information given plus our purchases from the trial balance minus returns 23,600. We also add our carriage minus closing stock will give us now our total value of direct material cost. This is the expense for the year, 2,850,000. So when we are calculating direct material cost, this is the logical method. We are not presenting it in the note. If it was a note, we could write opening stock 468,000, purchases minus returns, then we write the net answer. Carriage on purchases 39,900, then closing stock in brackets 324,900. But this calculation, I call it logical, no need to show the vertical format. So our of direct material is 2,850,000. Now the second one requires us to calculate direct labor costs. This one is not one of the best question because it is not presenting us to the workings that I require. The one which we have said gross salary plus contributions plus any allowance. In this case, we were given the prime cost. We know that prime cost, it is direct material plus direct labor. Now we are calculating direct labor. We have prime cost of 4 million. We also have direct material from our previous activity. The difference will give us now the direct labor cost. So like I said, it is not one of the best. We will try to find a question where we need to apply. Now in this third one, it is factory overhead costs for the year ended 28 February 2017. I had deliberately written indirect material. We know the note starts with indirect material, then indirect labor. Our indirect material, we are told that we have used a total of 100,250 and 80% of this amount goes to the factory. Like we said, one criteria of portioning or sharing expense is using percentages. So 80% of this one will give us the 80,200. Indirect labor, in this one I have combined the salaries for the foreman and the wages for the cleaning staff. Depending on the number of lines, you can decide to separate. If you separate, you don't need to write indirect labor. We could write foreman salary 325,000, factory cleaning wages 75,000. Now the 375,000, it was given from the trial balance as foreman salary, but the 75,000, we have noticed that the 15 workers who are working for cleaning and maintenance, they each earned 50 rand per hour and they worked a total of 100 hours. So for us to get this 75,000, we have said now the 50 multiplied by 15 multiplied by 100 hours to give us 75,000, a total of 400,000. Then insurance, the trial balance was saying 56,000. Out of this we subtract the insurance for sales and administration. Then water and electricity. The water and electricity was a bit tricky. We use the formula that we always know. Our formula which says amount given. So we were given in the question 150. In the trial balance it was a question mark. So we are given 150. But this one, divide by what it represents. It represents 2 out of 5. Now, we multiply by the required. The amount for factory is 3 out of 5. This will give us now a total of 225,000. Remember, amount given divided by what it represents times the required. So we apply this formula to calculate the water and electricity. If we add the 3, it will give us 750,000. So this is the factory overhead or cost. You must be mindful of apportioning, either given ratio, percent, or the correct figures. Like the insurance, were given figures instead of ratio or percent, were given figures. That was the factory overhead cost.